and welcome to Random Movie Time. Today we'll be talking about the Swedish 1995 movie fägring, stor, in English known as All Things Fair. It was directed by Widerberg and starred his son Johan Widerberg, Marika Lagenkrantz, and Tomas van Brömssen. Set in 1943, the story follows 15-year-old Stig, played by Widerberg, who has recently moved from Stockholm to Malmö, Sweden. Stig and his 37-year-old teacher Viola, played by Lagenkrantz, start having an affair. Viola's husband, Kjell, played by von Brömssen, is a traveling salesman who sells women's hosiery. He soon discovers the affair. Kjell is constantly drunk, and instead of doing something about the affair, he befriends Stig. Stig even helps him stop drinking for a short time, but Stig and Viola continue with the affair, so I won't spoil the ending for you. Tommy, what did you think of this movie?
Well, there's some movies where at the end you wonder what the director was thinking, and you have to do a bit of research on it, as we did, to try and come to terms with what you just saw. And I think this was one of those movies. So to me, that at first indicates kind of a failure in the narrative where, you can't just accept the movie on its own terms. It was interesting. Here in North America, it was sort of marketed as, an intellectual art house, existential, Scandinavian movie. Whereas in Sweden, it was marketed as a straight-up erotic movie. And you even see that in the title of the movie, which you pronounce, but which I'm not going to try and pronounce. That translated means of great lust and beauty, whereas in English it's all things fair. The poster in the Swedish version was a woman's blouse getting slowly opened by man's hands. So it was like straight up going for the eroticism. But watching the movie, I was like, well, okay, so is the erotic part supposed to be the underage guy having an affair with his married teacher, or was the erotic part supposed to be the guy who's underage having an underage affair with an underage schoolmate? Like, where did the erotic part come into it? I don't think it succeeded as erotica or as a drama, really. I was also wondering why it was set during World War II. I thought at first, well, maybe this is an autobiography. Maybe this really happened. But apparently it's a made-up story. I think they were trying to exaggerate how, teenagers don't have a good idea about sexuality, and perhaps they were even more naive about it in the 40s. And they were kind of going for that nostalgic glow. Oh, this is a simpler time. But it didn't really work. I found all the teenagers really annoying in this movie. Like, you got annoyed with like how
Aren't teenagers usually?
Yeah, like how clueless they were and how dumb they were about everything. So there weren't really characters that you could really root for. I liked the husband. He was a good bit of comic relief. The drunk lingerie salesman who really hates nylon. He thinks nylon is an invention of the devil and women shouldn't be subjected to wearing this hot material.
Sandpaper on the legs.
Sandpaper on the legs, he called it. Yeah, but other than that, it was well shot, well acted, but obviously it's memorable, like we're still thinking about it. But I didn't think it was a very good movie. I didn't think it was entertaining either as a drama or as supposedly as an erotic film. It didn't work either way.
Well, that movie was nominated for an Academy Award. It didn't win, but that goes to show you how much the Academy knows. This movie, where to start? To me, there was so many different stories that he was trying to relate to each other, but he failed. The there was this story. It really starts out as kind of like what you think will be a coming of age story, because it starts out with all these teenagers in school passing around lewd notes about penises and sex and, just whatever 14, 15-year-old boy stuff, I guess. And it talks about these teenage girl who has a crush on Stig, and it's Stig kind of shows her, like, is not interested in her. He's having an affair with the teacher, so he's not interested at the beginning. But Viola, the teacher, shows Stig how to have sex. She kind of guides him and teaches him on how to have sex. And then when Stig kind of starts going off the teacher, he's like, oh, I can't do this. I've got to have a relationship with a normal girl. So he shows his teenage girlfriend how to have sex, and they have sex in a pommel horse in the gym class.
Yeah. One of the few funny scenes in the movie.
Yeah, like sometimes the movie was funny, sometimes it was horrifying, sometimes it was disgusting. For me, definitely the highlight was Kjell, who is the husband in all of this. He did an amazing job as an actor, and honestly, I felt so sorry for him. I don't know why Viola started having an affair. It's not explained really why their relationship was sour. I mean, he's on the road all the time and he's drunk all the time. But what led up to it? Why is this relationship soured now? And why did this 37-year-old teacher think it was okay to start having sex with a 14-year-old boy or 15-year-old boy? It's really confusing. And then when Stig and Kjell start having a relationship, it's kind of like Kjell's kind of like his, a father figure to Stig, in a way.
At least that part was interesting. I've never seen that in a movie where, somebody's having an affair and then they become good friends with, the husband of the woman they're having an affair with. So that was at least an interesting way to do it. Yeah,
and Stig actually started caring about Kjell, and he started feeling bad, I think, about having an affair with Viola. But, I mean, he kept doing it. Anyway, he kept being friends with Kjell and sleeping with Viola. It was really... I'm not a prude by any stretch of the imagination, but really, I think this was quite disgusting. It was disjointed. As I say, there were many different plots going on in the same movie. They weren't connected. They could have been connected. Things could have been explained better. There were some funny moments. It's true. And overall, the acting was really good. Like I say, I was really impressed with Van Brömssen, who played the husband. He did an excellent job. But it's just not to my taste. I think that, I think even if it were fixed, I don't think it would really be my kind of movie anyway. But in the end, I won't tell you because it's a spoiler. I won't tell you how it ends. Watch it for yourself and see.
Yep. So, all in all, I guess you're not recommending this movie?
Well, if we're talking about how many dollar hests to give it, I'll give it $2 hests out of 5. And you?
Exactly the same thing. $2 hests out of 5. It has some good points, cinematography, acting, a couple of comedic moments, but mainly I can't recommend this movie. It's sad and boring, and I don't think it's to my taste. I don't think it's to your taste. I don't think it's to most people's taste, at least not in North America. Maybe it's a Scandinavian thing. Maybe it would work better in their culture, but yeah.
I think one of the highlights is when the gin comes out of the cuckoo clock.
Yeah, that was a funny part.
Well, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time on
Random Movie Time.